A very big welcome to you, my dear Aquarius. So I continue. As you can see, I changed a few things, but nevertheless the sun is in the Hermit. The sun is in Virgo, and you are going back to the left. You had your full moon last time, right? Leo sun, Aquarius full moon. I'm gonna look in a minute what the message was. And so now the stage goes back to the within, and the Hermit is gonna help you. The Hermit is the one that goes up to the mountain again and has a perspective to see the world from the higher consciousness, from the 9 as a number. And so the sun gives the light to the moon, which is in your sign, and that's why I do the reading, because when the moon is in each respective sign, I can receive the information through the subconscious. And if you have it in your chart, great. If not, it's not important. It's important that you see that the moon comes into your sign once a month, or every like 28 to 29 days. So this is the information from the sun and the moon. And of course, now I'm looking only at the court cards, and this comes from Aleister Crowley. Aleister Crowley has created the dates for the court cards, and then we have the dates for the sun. And the court cards dates are different than when the sun is in Aquarius, right? And so we have the first version, which is in the previous reading, but I'm just going to show you so you understand. So this is the deck for Capricorn, and this is the deck for Aquarius. And so this is how I distinguish, right? To use 22 different decks that speak to each other from the 15th century to now to the 21st, or let's say even 22nd century, right? And so here we understand that the soul aspect is Capricorn, the devil, the attachment, the human aspect is the King of Swords. Now you see a female king in your deck. The king has a masculine and a feminine side, and I always pick the one that comes out first. So is your birthday between the 9th to the 20th of January, then you are this combination, which I did in the previous reading. Then we have the classical Aquarius, which I do here in this reading. Is your birthday between the 21st of January to the 7th of February, then you are this combination, right? And then we have another mix to the next zodiac sign, which is Pisces. Is your birthday between the 8th to the 19th of February, then you are this mix. Then you have above soul aspect the star, but below you're already the Knight of Cups. And again, from the 8th to the 19th of February is the date. The dates I have placed down below in the description, also the cards that I'm using. And of course, Pisces is getting a number, so you can click on it and you're directly when his or her reading is beginning, right? So you don't need to look at the King of Swords unless you feel there is a side in you that has also more the King of Swords in you. Maybe in your chart you have a lot of Aquarius in you, so maybe you want to look at that. Then of course, back to the last reading, like I said, you have the full moon, Leo sun giving Aquarius full moon the light. The King of Swords, compassion dissolves trauma. And the Knight of Cups, you let go into friendliness. So just that you see, right, this is the reading. And of course, I always look if there is a reoccurring card so that I can see that the card is not finished, or it's kind of like it's coming back from the last one to this one, right? And I will look, because there is usually then something not clear yet, and that's why the card is coming again and is speaking again. So right now I see one card that is speaking again. It's under the sun. It was under the sun, and that means I will look at it again. Good. So we begin with the King of Swords. Now here's the 11th house of community and technology, and I picked a card from your deck, which is the Emperor that is coming, and it's really interesting because here we have a masculine King of Swords. She's dressed and she's putting the stars on her dress, on her planet. I think it's Uranus, because Uranus is ruling Aquarius, or the King of Swords. But here comes Aries, the Emperor, the masculine Aries, right? So we have here two masculine energies coming together, and so even she is dressed like a woman, it's still a king. The 11 and the 4, so the 4th of November or the 11th of April could be a date. Now I want to look into this card. I want to go deeper into this card, and so of course I pick a card from Aries, and Aries is bringing you the High Priestess. So here comes that these two people, if I calculate them together, I get the 15, and that's work, that's career, that's success, that's climbing the mountain. And now here comes the High Priestess, which is Lilith, the wild woman in you, the wild aspect in you. And so you see he has here like a beard made of branches, and he wears flowers as a result of his courage. And I think what's happening here is the 4 and the 2 becomes the 6. Now this could be the 11th of June or the 6th of November, a new date. See that you listen to your intuition, that you are connecting to this inspiration that comes from within now by going back within, or going back energetically to your new moon. Even though the moon is going now to the full moon, for you, the path to the new moon is to the left. We have on the weekend a full moon in Pisces, and even in that full moon there is a lunar eclipse. And so observe, right, how the moon or Lilith here is talking to you, and she's really like, you can see she holds her head a little up. That's what the Emperor does, what Aries does, right? They're like they're like superior people in a way, right? Because the Emperor, it's like, okay, he's like someone that we listen to. So of course now I want to see what is the High Priestess bringing, and her deck is black and white, and we get the Ace of Pentacles. And you see the Ace of Pentacles, it's kind of like bringing you into the Lord of the root of the powers of earth. It's a very long title, right? But you see here is an understanding that the earth brings us the goods, and when we have the goods we can be empirical over it, but never superior. So the 1 and the 2 is the 3 and the 4, the 7th, the 11th of July is now a new date here that is talking. And you see that the Emperor works with this new money, this kind of emperor that has the flowers as that I am the emperor of beautiful consciousness, energy, right? And not just like a medal that says, well, I did such and such. The flowers always consciousness that's blooming, that's showing that he is ready to be in his mind an emperor, but on his heart he holds the flower. So this is the reading, right? But I'm going to look, of course, at the Mother Peace Tarot because it's round, and we're going to see what the Mother Peace Tarot is saying. So the 7th of November or the 11th of July, the date. So this is letting you know, right, that you understand that consciousness is wanting you to come into the 7, into the crown chakra. So here you have the Daughter of Cups to the left. And the Daughter of Cups is connected with all the 3 water signs. So there is Cancer, then there is, of course, Scorpio and Pisces. And these are emotional signs, and I want to see what are they saying to the Emperor. So here comes a 7. It's almost like they're saying, yes, become higher consciousness. Notice that higher consciousness is important. Notice that you feel yourself into that higher consciousness, because the 7 says, well, see the structures that you have created in your head. Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces are feeling energies, not fire. Water, so water and fire is coming here together. And in the 7, it's almost like these water emotional signs are saying, well, check your consciousness, check your thought patterns. Now here the 3 water signs to the High Priestess, it's like the intuition comes through the feelings that we observe and connect with. And Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces are the Queen, the King, and the Knight. All 3, right, together are here, inspiring you to go deeper into learning what water is all about, because you're air. Air and air. There's no other element with you. So when there is air and fire, air and the intuition, which is also water, the moon is influencing the water, then you understand that it's important for you right now to connect with the water element very much so, right? That the water is here to teach you how to navigate. And she is in this beautiful place, and that's what the intuition needs. Beautiful places where we connect to our intuition. And then what's coming here through the Ace, then you see the 3 and the 1, the 4. Then there is a 4-4 portal with the Emperor, with Aries, and you realize that the awakening begins by consciously being with this pure money, because the Ace is always the purest of money, right? New ideas of young generations, and in there you can thrive. You can create new endeavors. That's what's talking here, right? And so what is this card saying to you? Listen to the young generation that brings new emotions, new ideas to you. Right, 3rd of November or the 11th of March could be a date. Listen to them, they have something to bring to you. It's important while you're going deeper within, they help you to particularly when the moon is in a water sign, I always feel very like emotional. And now the moon is in an air sign, I feel very clear in my mind, right? How I say the things. So it's really interesting how each of these zodiac signs influence me through the moon. And it's getting stronger and stronger, right? The message, it's getting clearer and clearer when I listen, or when I feel, or when I touch, or when I act. So that's what's coming here, right? And understand that here was the 7, the crown chakra. Here came the 5, the human aspect. The emotions sometimes can be overwhelming, but the high priestess knows what to do with those emotions. And the 5 is that human aspect in us. And then here the 4. And so we have a 4-4 portal, 2 times the 4. Be creative in how you open your heart, in how you're working with the money. Good. So now the Knight of Cups. He trusts. He trusts. And what's interesting, he's getting intensity. So this is the Knight of Wands, which is Sagittarius. He's the 9th zodiac sign, the 12th zodiac sign. The 12 and the 9 is, of course, the 21. That's the world, and the world feels this intensity. Right, you see here is the arrow and the red, and we see when there is a line through, that's the water and the fire element. And so there is something that is saying, well, I gotta trust now this intense feeling of going back within, of seeing who I am again from deep within. What is coming from Sagittarius? The 10 of Arrows. And the arrows are, of course, swords, which is Sun in Gemini. And you see the Sun in Gemini, here we get that moment of something is ending in the way you think. The 9 and the 10 is the 19, that's the Sun. And the Sun is in Virgo, the 9, the 9th zodiac sign. The 19 turns into a 10, the 10 and the 3 of the 12 is the 13. And the 13 is the transformation, is understanding that something is wanting to shift your perspective, transform you, and the 4 is left. So the overall number here, of course, the 9 and the 10, the 19 is the 10 and the 3, the 13, the 4 is left. So, of course, now I want to look into the Sun in Gemini. And we're going to get here from the deck for the Sun, gravity, the groundedness, maybe even a heaviness, the 39. And you see the 2 butterflies. The 39 is a 12. And so that's a 12-12 with you, a 12-12 portal, and in that 12-12 you can also create a 3-3 portal, and a 10 is then left. So I think you are going into understanding what's happening in your brain, that there is something that is making you heavy, but there's 2 butterflies that try to uplift you. Intense, but I think you gotta look at it. What is Gemini bringing? Bringing the 6 of Swords, Mercury in Aquarius. Learn everything. For me, learning all of this makes me realize that certain days it affects me in which sign the moon is. Of course, all then the other planets as well, but The moon, it particularly affects our emotions deeply. And when the moon is now in Aquarius, Aquarius is here above of the Knight of Cups. So you feel there is this overthinking. You feel that certain things are intense, and you gotta look at how to make yourself light again by learning. The Six of Swords and the Ten of Swords, 16 swords, that's the Tower. And the Tower is Mars. Let go of things that really don't belong to you anymore. This heaviness. Allow this heaviness to go. See the butterflies and just let yourself flow. Go in the water or learn. The 16 turns into a 7. The 7 and the 3 is the 10. The 10 and the 9. The 19, the 10 is left, right? Always the 19, the Sun. The 10 is left, and again the 3. So it stays, right? The 13, the transformation is here. There is a transformation that is saying, if you learn, you understand more and more what this is all about. Now these two cards are explaining this one. Sun in Gemini is bringing you through the Sun, the gravity, and Gemini is bringing you learn and understand that when you learn, because this is Mercury in Aquarius, when you learn, it's good because you have Aquarius above you. You are someone that wants to learn. You are someone that wants to grow. Now, what is the Mother Piece Tarot bringing? You're getting the 10 of Wands facing down. And the 10 of Wands is a trance moment of understanding the action of clearing yourself and the freedom that results out of it, but it's facing down. And it's saying, well, something is not fully there yet. So what's it saying? You are going into this trance dance, the 10 and the 9, the 19. Still, you need to turn this around, right? You need to turn this around, and you need to understand that, yes, I can dance things off, but still, you gotta awaken to become someone that sees that certain moments are sacred, and the 10 is left. So then you can turn this card around. The 10 of Arrows is kind of like a 10-10 portal here. And so you see that the 10 of Swords, right, and the 10 of Wands is that moment where this is action. Counterbalance these thoughts, these worries that you have with action. Do something. Don't get stuck. But there is a portal, nevertheless. What it's saying to gravity? Well, there is something that holds you back to fly. These are your wings. And yes, when we dance, we may feel that we fly. We may feel that we can uplift, but not yet. This is stronger. Gravity is stronger than this. The 10 and the 3 that was left here, the 13, there is a transformation. So keep dancing, keep shaking it off. It's gonna be good for you. And then what is saying to the 6 of Swords? You see the 6 and the 10, the 16, the Tower, Mars. Awaken your consciousness by learning, by flying, gliding through the waters, and understanding that water is healing, and the 7 is left. The 7 is again the crown chakra, and learning what helps you to overcome this situation, turning it around, is then creating the 7. And so what is this card saying to you? you're jumping, and I think you're jumping into this dance trance. The 10 and the 12 to 22, that's Uranus. Uranus is ruling Aquarius, which is above you, is ruling you from a soul aspect, and the 22 is the Fool, a new beginning. Start seeing that you are trusting the shift in not emotionally drifting away, but in taking action, in doing what needs to be done and turning this card around and seeing that you can shift your consciousness and awaken yourself to a higher consciousness. And in that higher consciousness, you are understanding that we are here to liberate our own ways of being through the way we think. And we have the 16 here as well, right? And this means that you, this way, have a 16 here as well, and then it's a 7, so it's a 7-7, right? And 2 times the 7 means that you understand there is a creativity in the way you are understanding the introspection of thoughts, of here being in the family and knowing that they can help you to overcome what the 10 of Swords means. Sun in Gemini is the dark night of the soul. It's that moment where we only overcome difficulties by being with the family, by being with people, with your soul people. It doesn't mean family, right? Your family, your chosen family, that helps you to go through whatever you go through. But you understand clearly that the 16 is here and the 7 is left. And that 7 is important. 7 is here, your crown chakra, awaken to it. And so this is the message for the Knight of Cups. And so, of course, I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the Sun in Libra. And Libra is justice, is swords, is information, is knowledge. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.